Welcome to Canvas Assignments and Assessments. In this portion, we will be discussing student groups. Groups within a Canvas course allow for your students to work with one another in the digital equivalent to a traditional small group setting. To create a group set within your course, you can either go to the People section through the course navigation menu or create a group directly in an assignment. First, we're going to start by navigating to the People section in the course navigation menu. In the upper right corner, you can select the Add Group Set button. From here, you need to provide a group set name. This name should be specific to its use, just like a rubric. For instance, using an assignment name followed by the word group. I'm going to designate Rhetorical Analysis Group. Your next option is to allow for self-assign. Self-sign-up allows for students to sign themselves up for a group. If this is selected and you are teaching multiple CRN sections of the same course, please make sure that you check the Require Group Members to be in the same section option to avoid any and all FERPA violations. Selecting self-sign-up does change the group structure options. So with self-sign-up, you can indicate how many total groups you want, and then you can limit those groups to a specified number of students. It's important to keep in mind that if you leave this second box empty, there will be no limit for group signups into a particular group. So for instance, if you have a class of 25, and you leave the second box empty, there's nothing stopping all 25 of your students to sign up for group 1, okay? Now let's look at the other group structure options. So group structure provides you with 3 options if you decide to create the groups yourself, meaning you don't allow self-sign-up. Again, keep in mind that if you are teaching multiple CRN sections of the same course, you must select Require Group Members to be in the same section in order to avoid FERPA violations. This option appears if you select either split students into X amount of groups or split students into groups with X amount of students per group. So that first option, split students into X groups, allows for you to designate how many groups you would like to have. The second option, split students into groups with X amount of students per group, allows for you to designate that you want your students working in groups of 3, ideally. And then it will generate those groups for you. And that final option, I'll create groups later, just lets you basically create an open group set where your students can then be designated into groups in a future date. Okay? And then your final option in the Create Group Set pane is for leadership. If you would like Canvas to automatically assign a student group leader, you can go ahead and select this box. And it will either allow you to choose to set the first student to join a group as the leader, or it will pull a random name for each group to be the leader of that group. Once you've determined your group set name and how you would like your students split up, you can select Save, and Canvas will create those groups for you. I have no groups currently because I did not opt to make any. So you'll see I have all 6 of my unassigned students, and then I have no groups, okay? If I wanted to go in and edit my options here, I can then have my students select, a self-sign-up, or I can give them a group leader. I can add my groups. Group 1, give it 3. And then from there, I can just drag and drop students into that group. And then I can add another one and do group 2, add another 3 students, and that will give me space to drag and drop my students into those groups. And that is what happens when you select I'll create groups later. Thank you for watching. For more information, please visit clt.odu.edu.